Hello everyone. So I welcome all of you today in our welcome SCWIST Science Symposium session. We have our finalists here, and we also have our panelists from different STEM companies. And from here, we have our seven panelists. We will have this discussion later on together with our moderator, Dr. Ashima Khosla, and also we will have introduction from our finalists. Ashima, can you please share the next slide? So for land acknowledgements, I would like to take a moment and reflect on our connection to the land and thanks the traditional guardians of that land, which we at SCWIST Vancouver live and work. Vancouver is on the unceded ancestral and traditional lands of Musqueam, Tsleil-Waututh, Seychelles, and Squamish, and the indigenous people of the Turtle Island. Okay, here I would like our finalists to give their brief introduction. So first on our screen is Jaime. Jaime, if you can please unmute yourself and turn on your camera.
Yes, of course. I'm sorry, my dog is barking here in the background.
Okay, so maybe we can go to Jaime later. Tanya is here. Tanya, would you like to introduce yourself first then?
Sure. Hi everyone, I am Tanya Saxena. I am a PhD candidate in the Faculty of Pharmaceutical Sciences at UBC. I am a finalist in the category of drug discovery, oncology, and neuroscience. And my PhD is related to the investigation of oral excipients for oral delivery of sensitive drugs. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Tanya. Our next finalist is Melissa from Ryerson University. I think she is not here. So we go to the next one. We have Robyn under the particle physics category. Robyn, are you here?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay.
Thanks, Noreen. Yeah, I'm Robyn. I'm a PhD student at UBC and TRIUMF, and I'm one of the finalists in the particle physics category. My work is on the ATLAS experiment, which is located at the Large Hadron Collider. And yeah, I'm excited to be part of the competition.
Thanks, Robyn. Next on our screen is Danica for particle physics. She's from University of Victoria.
Hi, yeah, I'm Danica McDonald. I'm a PhD student working with Dr. Bob Kowaleski at the University of Victoria. I'm one of the 15 finalists in the area of particle physics, and I am also, same as Robyn, working on the ATLAS experiment at the Large Hadron Collider, where I look for dark matter and work on reproducible particle physics analyses. Yeah, so I'm very excited to have been selected as one of the finalists and to be part of this symposium.
Thanks, Danica. Shahrzad is not joining us today. So Ashima, can you please go to next slide? So next on our screen is Jueqi Wang from St. Francis Xavier University.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jueqi Wang, and I'm a first-year master's student at St. Fax University, and my category of research is machine learning. And I'm very excited to be here, and thanks for this opportunity.
Thanks, Jueqi. Next on my screen is Banafshe. Banafshe, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, sure. Hello, all. I'm Banafshe Felfeliyan. I'm a PhD candidate at the University of Calgary in biomedical engineering. I am one of the finalists in the machine learning category, and my PhD project is about quantifying osteoarthritis features from MRI images using deep learning. Thank you all.
Thanks, Banafshe. Next is Veena from University of Alberta. We cannot hear you, Veena. There is some problem. It's still having an issue when you turn on. So. No, we cannot hear you. So maybe I can introduce you, right? So we have Veena here from University of Alberta, and she is our finalist from machine learning and artificial intelligence. So congratulations, Veena, and I welcome you here on this platform. I'm sorry your audio didn't work, but it's okay. Okay, next is our global warming category. First is Amy Heim from St. Mary's University.
Hi, yes, I'm Amy Heim. I'm a PhD candidate at St. Mary's University in Halifax, Nova Scotia. And my work has really been looking at how we can improve the benefits provided by the vegetation in our cities by applying applications from the natural environment to man-made ecosystems. And I'm in the global warming category.
Thanks, Amy. Next is Kristen from Queen's University. I think she is not here, so we will go to the next one. Next finalist is Dilrukshi from University of Alberta.
Hi everyone, I'm Dilrukshi from University of Alberta, and my research is on investigating drought-resistant soybean cultivars to maintain symbiotic nitrogen fixation and yield production under the category of global warming, earth, and environmental science. Thank you.
Dilrukshi. Ashima, can we go to the next slide for the last slide for finalists? Okay, under bioengineering and biotechnology, our first finalist is Gagan from Wilfrid Laurier University.
Hi, my name is Gagan. I'm from Wilfrid Laurier University, just as I was introduced. I'm a fifth-year PhD student, so my final year, hopefully. I'm in the biosensing category. My research is on, I utilize DNA enzymes, which is a unique new concept to sense toxic levels of metal in environments. So we'll hear more about that. I'm sorry, I'm outside hanging out. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Gagan. Next is Tofa. Tofa Begum, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Firstly, I would like to pass my sincere gratitude to all of the involved person, an organizer and sponsor. This is Tofa Begum, a doctorate student in biology at INRS-Institut Armand-Frappier Health Biotechnology. I am working with the development of environmental friendly active packaging using natural product in combination with irradiation and nanotechnology. And I am working with USDA in collaboration with USDA and Canada. And I am one of the finalists in the category of bioengineering and technology. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Tofa. Next on our screen is Anat from Ryerson University. I think she is not here, so we can move to our next slide. And I would like to actually, so I would like to say a few housekeeping rules. Before that, I will just give my little bit brief introduction. I am Dr. Noin Malik. I am a nuclear medicine scientist and a business strategist for theragnostic related isotopes. And I'm working as an acting director of events for SCWIST, and I'm also working as an executive director of public affairs for GIANT, which is the Global Immunization Action Networking Team, together with United Nations and WHO. So now we can go towards housekeeping rules. So please note that today's event is going to be video recorded. I already started it. And we will keep our mobiles and mics silent, and chat box will be monitored, and question and answers we will take in the question and answer session. From Jaime is left. She is just sending message in the chat box because the problem with her, like she had some background problems. So we will introduce her at the end of our session today. Our agenda is first the introductions that we already did. Now I will pass it on to Ashima, Dr. Ashima Costa, and she can start the panel discussion. Ashima, you can also stop sharing the screen.
Yes, I'll just introduce them quickly and then stop screen sharing. Okay, thank you, Noin, and thank you everyone for joining us today. So I'm going to do a very quick introduction for our panelists today. So we have with us today Stashen, who is a director at adMare Bioinnovations Academy. Then we have with us Pamela Saunders, who is a PR and social impact lead at Microsoft. Next, we have Abby Walker, who is a Senior Director of Finance and Operations at Acuity Therapeutics. We have Eccles, who is a regional CEO and dean at Northeastern University. Next, we have with us Neha Sam, who is a biomedical engineer at Molly Surgical. We also have with us Victoria Agapova, who is an associate science and strategy consultant at 𝐿 Strategy Group. And then finally, we have Michelle Ferenczi, who is a security engineer at Sophos. So welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us. And again, congratulations to our top 15 finalists. So should I stop sharing the screen now, Noin?
Yes.
Okay. Perfect. Okay, so to start off, I wanted to start off by giving all our panelists a chance to kind of tell us more about your company or your organization and how is it contributing to research and development. So does anyone want to go first? Erin, do you want to start off? Yes.
Did you say Erin?
Yes.
Sure. Sure. I manage an academy, which is all about putting yourself out there and developing your skills. So why shouldn't I offer to go first and practice my pitch? I'll be brave.
Sorry to put you on spot. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. But full disclosure, I've just joined just a matter of 6 weeks ago. So I'll be like Justin Trudeau. And if I refer to my notes, please forgive me. I am not as good as Donald Trump, who can just wing things. So I'll take the Justin Trudeau approach. So in one sentence or less, who is adMare Bioinnovations? We are Canada's global life sciences venture. And, you know, I had to Google that word. What is a venture? What does venture mean exactly? Basically, if I look up the definition, it's a business enterprise in which an opportunity or a technology is sourced, searched for, analyzed, and speculated in hopes of generating a profit or commercializing the technology later on and making it available to patients across Canada. So in one sentence or less, adMare is Canada's life science venture. How do we do that? On a daily basis, we source out promising research and we build companies around that research, helping the researchers upskill and upgrade their infrastructure, helping them find venture capital. The second way we do this is we take current Canadian companies and we grow them a little bit in the same way, but finally through training, and that's where my job comes in. I've been hired as the director of the academy. You can certainly check out our website and see if any of the training programs would apply to any of you, really. We've been generously funded through public and private sponsors, and you just might be eligible to take an incredible business course aimed at life sciences. So feel free to check out our website, to join our community where you could look for jobs, you could connect with hiring managers, you can even ask for advice from people that are completely willing to help. It's a private social media group. You'll be admitted within 12 to 24 hours, and it's a relatively safe space to connect with people like yourselves who are changing life sciences across Canada from sea to sea. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Erin. I see Abby on my screen next. Abby, do you want to go next?
Oh, well, thank you so much. So hello, everybody. I think as I introduced myself earlier, but Acuity Therapeutics is a small biotechnology company. I think that's sprung out of really the kind of thing that Erin's talking about. So taking an innovative idea and trying to make it a business venture and ultimately a commercially profitable venture. You know, taking most of the people that I work with came from an academic background, they're ex-professors and similar PhD students. And we sort of, they cottoned upon a great idea about 40 years ago about the use of lipid nanoparticles in the delivery of things like vaccines and mRNA. And they really built a business out of it. And I actually very recently joined Acuity. I'm fairly new there. But it's really in recognition of the fact that that good idea has sprung into a very successful business, which has seen great success on the back of being involved in the COVID-19 vaccine program. we really wanted to support women in STEM. I think that was our primary goal in supporting and sponsoring this event. We're extremely fortunate as an organization. We're actually 50% female, which in STEM is quite unusual. And so we're very keen to support and work with other organizations and academic institutions to support women and innovation generally in Canada.
Perfect. Thanks, Abby. Victoria, you're next.
Thank you. So hi everyone, my name is Victoria and I represent 6th Sense Strategy Group. So 6th Sense Strategy Group is a boutique consulting firm. We're based in Toronto and we work specifically with pharmaceutical companies that are in phase 2, phase 3 clinical trials, and we're helping them to launch their drug to the market. And we do it kind of in 2 lenses. So we help them with medical communications, but we also help them with the strategy. So we have 2 branches of our company, and both branches of our company and our teams are comprised of individuals that had either an MSc, a PhD, postdoc. So we're very much science oriented. We hire individuals that have that science background because that's the expectation that our clients have from us. We want to make sure that because we work with pharmaceutical companies that want to successfully launch their drug to the market, they have a lot of clinical trials and data coming to us, want to be able to analyze that data to deliver outputs that are really science-driven and data-driven. So science is a big component of why we hire individuals with all of those backgrounds.
Awesome. Thanks, Victoria. Steve, want to go next?
Okay, thank you. Well, welcome again, everybody. Congratulations. So as the CEO and Dean of Northeastern Vancouver, I'm part of a network. Northeastern is headquartered in Boston, Massachusetts. It's 120 years old. We're about 14 months old in Vancouver, but we intend to be nearly as big within 5 years or so. We have a focus in computer science and data science masters. So right now we have tremendous, I can't believe in a year of a pandemic, we'll probably be approaching 200 students by the time we get to September. What we are about is challenging the process. We have a fairly innovative president who demands that we kind of collapse and build back the university. That's why we've got regional network campuses, which are absolutely brilliant for a little bit of R&D practically applied, to actually reinvent a university in different locations. And that spans the Bay Area through to Toronto, Vancouver, Seattle, and London. That is a gift of an assignment to do. And so a good example would be the ALIGN program is a Master of Science in Computer Science, but it's for applicants who don't have a computer science undergrad. Why is that important? Because it completely changes the complexion of the applicant pool. And that's why 54% of students in ALIGN are women. So we've introduced that program. We've been swept away by the demand, and we intend to make a mark in our communities here simply because we know that more diverse grads represented by this community today make for more diverse corporations and better outcomes. Obviously, we're pretty significant in R&D. We're a research university. I could go on, but I won't, and I'll pass it back to the next panelist.
Pam, do you want to go?
Sure. So as I said earlier, I'm here representing Microsoft in Vancouver. We have the Vancouver Development Center is our primary engineering presence in Canada. We do have a research lab in Montreal, working primarily in AI. But here in Vancouver, we have a variety of teams, a variety of products represented, and people working in everything from AI to machine learning to mixed reality holographics, data science, cloud computing, a real variety of positions. As I said earlier, we're about 1,400 people right now, and we anticipate growing to more than 1,700 in the coming months. So it's been, during the year of a pandemic, we've actually seen considerable growth, primarily due to investment from our head office in Redmond, Washington, just across the border, and a decentralization of the way that development is being done. We've had development centers opening up in cities across the US, more around the world, and just heavier investment here in Vancouver. So it's exciting for us to be able to create these teams and offer these opportunities in Canada, and look at how we can diversify and bring more people in, which we'll talk about in some of the questions that are coming up about, how we're focusing on ensuring that we have diverse representation across our teams and that we're doing everything we can to create the best innovation, which comes from those teams specifically.
Awesome. Thanks, Pamela. Michelle?
Hi. So my name is Michelle. I'm representing Sophos Canada. We are an international company with offices around the world, but in Canada, we specifically have offices in Vancouver and Hamilton in Ontario. Although given the pandemic right now, pretty much all of Canada is working remotely for everyone's safety. And as a cybersecurity vendor, it really gives us the advantage to primarily focus on research and development as a strategy for, product development. It is what we do. We want to secure enterprises of every size from every industry, regardless of what they already have built in, with a robust system that is practical. They can manage it themselves or hire people who are able to manage it without needing super specialized training. I apologize, there is additional noise outside. But we're trying to make cybersecurity accessible and applicable everywhere. And at the same time, we're also trying to outpace the threat landscape that evolves faster and quicker on the offensive than we can possibly keep up with in the defensive. But of interest to probably most of you, one of the major ways we're doing this research is through machine learning. And our machine learning team has been solving a lot of machine learning specific problems as they try to solve these cybersecurity issues. So we've developed new ML technology while trying to develop the security for everybody else.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Michelle. And Neha.
Last but not least, hey everyone, Neha here, representing Molly Surgical. Like I said before, we're an early stage medical device company, and we're in a pretty exciting time in our company. We focus in the tumor localization space, and our main product is, our flagship product is the Molly device. And so it's a, like I said, a tumor localization device. It has a hardware piece, software piece. So there's, a whole lot of engineering that has come together. We're based in Toronto with our roots from Sunnybrook Hospital. We have just recently gotten our FDA clearance and Health Canada clearance, so we're in a new stage of the company, and we're looking to grow quickly. We're currently a small team of just roughly under 30 people, mainly engineers in quality, in the R&D space, in the manufacturing space as well. In terms of R&D and what we do is we do have our one device, but we are really looking to leverage the investment in our existing technology and apply it into different spaces. And so with that comes a lot of R&D projects and continually working on continuous improvements on our current device. And at the end of the day, we believe in improving surgical and patient outcomes.
Wonderful. Thanks, Neha. So I think the first question that we really wanted to start off was revolves around these training and internship programs. So I think it would be really interesting for our audience to know any specific types of, like what we say, training programs or internships or even career development workshops that your company offers for students, early phase or even mid-career phase research scientists. So maybe if you could talk to us a little bit more about that.
Maybe I'll jump in.
Sure.
I'll be the brave one this time. I'll give Erin a break. So Microsoft has a variety of internship programs, and it's something that we really focused on, for people in every stage of their career. I think most traditionally it would be students that are coming out of university, and we have internship programs that are specific to being embedded within a product team, if somebody has a specific area of focus. But we've also had a program that catered more towards the entrepreneurial nature that some students have when they come out of university, where they're not ready to jump to a program or into a particular product, but they want to explore what it means to be part of a working team, which is sometimes hard to do as an intern. And so we've had this program called the Garage Internship Program for the last few years that allowed students to come together in individual teams, so 4 to 6 students depending, and work together on real world problems. It's been probably one of our most recommended program from students to other students, because it does give them an idea of what it's like to begin, from scratch and work with students and collaborate, mentored by Microsoft people across different products. But we do work with interns on each of our product teams, and then we do have a growing list of programs that are geared towards people who may have already been in the workforce. So programs that bring women back who've had an extended absence from being in the workforce, and a new program that will launch in the next few months that's geared towards students coming from non-traditional backgrounds where they may not have a depth of experience in computer science or design, that allows us to bring them in more as an apprentice. So it's all exciting things and all different ways that people can interact with us and find out more about what it's like to work at Microsoft.
Awesome, thank you. Anyone has anything to add? Erin, Doria?
I can maybe add a quick note from a university perspective. I think we have fabulous universities in Canada, locally, and in Vancouver. We're lucky to have SFU, UBC. We're like them too. We offer experiential learning with co-ops and placement. They're integral to our programs. They're so fundamentally important to be able to apply the skills that you've learned. Now, we pay a lot of attention to them. Pam at Microsoft, we just learned this week that another student got a placement. And I can tell you that, the student comes back from an experience like that, not just proud of the way they've applied their skills, but they've learned about culture, organizational systems, collaboration. The really important bits of when you craft your resume, it really adds to the value of your technical skills, because you've been out and done it and you've been successful. And we know there's a high correlation to internships and eventual jobs. So, I would make that fairly obvious point as a university, but I would also encourage anybody to test yourself and do different things. If you feel uncomfortable with a subject, take a course in it. And I would say, do something like soft skills, like leadership, because leadership is a tremendously important asset. And when I look at my colleagues on this panel that are doing this incredibly innovative work, but very often not at a massive enterprise scale. These are small companies that are going to explode in growth. They're the ones that need well-rounded, highly technical, but also broader skilled grads. It'll stand you in good stead. And of course, we offer workshops and that kind of thing. But I really would encourage you to step out of, I've got a feeling the very fact that you're in this final, you're already okay with being uncomfortable and pushing yourself. I guess I'm just saying push yourself a little bit more and do unusual things.
I can actually piggyback on Steve with the mention of soft skills. Sophos, like many large companies, we offer regular summer internships, but we do recognize that there are sometimes just really exceptional candidates working on absolutely revolutionary projects in their own time. And so our recruiters are always open to hearing from, even if there's not an internship posted, if you have something really awesome in your skill set or you're working on something really novel, we want to bring you in, you get, give the real world experience, and in turn learn from what's already there and really have that exchange. And a lot of our interns, my own team just had an intern this past winter, and she's now in a full-time position with us. So these internships do materialize into actual career opportunities within Sophos. But speaking to those soft skills that Steve mentioned, one of the things that I can't stress the importance of enough, and is highly underrated as you get more technical, are people who can translate highly technical needs to non-technical people who are giving them the solutions and helping them meet those needs. And a class worth taking for everyone, because it comes up all the time. practice in how to write brief reports as well as long reports for analyses, so that you already have that practice in a system, because inevitably, whatever you're doing, that's going to be a part of your work. Someone's going to ask you, you know, give me a brief on this. That class is definitely worth taking.
I can also build a little bit on what Michelle just said. At 𝐼𝐶 Sense, writing and general communication skills are invaluable. It's the most important thing that we do at 𝐼𝐶 Sense. We develop reports for clients, and often we have to translate concepts that are very complicated in nature, science. We have to translate it in easier terms that can be understood by patients, that can be understood by various audiences. And you have to be able to communicate really in a narrative style, where you're really telling a story to a person that is reading a report, to a person who is listening to your presentation. So it's an invaluable skill to have, I think, in many jobs. And then to say a little bit more about internship opportunities versus other opportunities that we do have at 𝐼𝐶 Sense. So we are a smaller company. We only have about 30 people right now. So we don't have internships per se, but we do have contractor part-time roles. And so a lot of our current hires have actually been in the contractors and part-time roles before they have joined our company full-time. And usually those are the roles on the medical communication side of the company. So again, this is the time for you in that role to learn how to communicate, to learn how to write those reports in the style that we do and prepare those decks, and then really realize whether your interests and your passions match with what the kind of work that we do at 𝐼𝐶 Sense. So it's a really great opportunity to, you know, just get a feel of whether you're interested in continuing in the company and staying in for a long term as well.
I could go next. I heard Steve and Michelle talk about soft skills, so I too want to kind of piggyback on that, and I'll get to that in a moment. But at adMare, and I'll put the link in the chat, the link to our academy, you'd be very surprised how accessible and available our training can be for future life scientists, or present life scientists rather, who are looking to go from bench into business. So for instance, we have an executive institute. That's a bit of an exclusive and unique program. I'm not sure if anyone would be eligible for that now. You are basically one level away from the C-suite, and you have about 10, 15 years of life sciences leadership. If that doesn't apply to you right now at this stage of your career, then I invite you to check out our Bioinnovation Scientist program, which has 1, 2, and 3 levels of soft skill development. So in your first year at level 1, bioinnovation scientist, you will develop business acumen, learn how to develop your unique selling proposition, your elevator pitch. You'll develop soft skills such as conflict management, project management, presentation style, all the things that will distinguish you in a seemingly competitive environment, although we have a talent shortage in Canada, so it's a wonderful time to be a life scientist. We also have a fellowship program, which is a 24-month research-intensive fellowship designed to offer hands-on bench scientific experience while you're advancing your career development skills. And finally, we have the Undergrad Institute, and we too offer co-op opportunities. We don't offer hundreds or thousands of those per year, but we do offer enough to kind of, you know, give people some experience. So check us out and take a chance. Look at our job offerings as well on the career page of our website. We've got a lot to offer for everyone really on the spectrum of, you know, career development.
Agreed. I'm also part of the Bioinnovation Scientist program, so I know how great it is. Yes.
Wonderful.
Thanks for mentioning that. And Abby, do you have anything to add?
Well, I think our story is similar to those. I mean, we're a small company, so I think probably similar to Victoria, we do offer internship and co-op opportunities on a relatively small scale. But I think we are growing rapidly, and so I suspect that we will be expanding our recruitment over the next few years, and would be excited to hear from anybody who would be interested in learning more about Acuitas.
Okay. Neha, do you have something to add about the programs at Knowledge?
I mean, I feel like a lot of it was already said, but I can jump in with like a personal anecdote is with when, before I joined Molly, and being in a medical device company, there are certain ISO regulations that you must adhere to. And, working knowledge of those standards is great beforehand, but I had none of that. And you jump in and you're like, kind of like a little fish in big water. And there's a huge difference between knowing a standard and then being able to apply a standard. And that comes with time and that comes with experience. And so, you should never feel like, oh, I don't have this X, Y, Z. Those are all skills that you can easily, either Molly will send you out for the right training if you need it. But, back to Steve's point, it really comes back to those soft skills. I always say like working, depending on the company, but like working at Molly is kind of like being in a group project at university, but you're in a group project for a really long time. And, your prof is kind of in your group project too. And so it's very funny, but like, you really do need to be able to work with people and be able to communicate ideas with people and just, have those fruitful conversations, especially when there's those problems where you have no idea how to solve it. And there's oftentimes a lot of those problems. And so, at Molly, we do offer co-op opportunities. We also work with the MyTax internship program. And then, like I said before, if there is any training, your supervisor will be more than willing to make sure you have the right skills to get it done.
Thanks, everyone. So I just want to add a follow-up. So you did talk about the training programs at Microsoft. Where is the best place to access that information? Like if somebody wants to, like, is it on their website? Where can they
Yeah, we have the benefit of being a global organization is tons of pages that people can refer to. And so on our careers page, which I will drop the link into the chat for everybody, we have one link that would take you through to opportunities that are open to professionals, and then a link that takes you through to student opportunities. So I've dropped the student opportunity one in there. It's probably the most relevant for this audience, and that would give people an idea of where jobs are located, what types of jobs they are. I did see the other question around research, and I'm going to drop that link into the chat as well, because the research teams that we have are quite diverse, from systems to AI, quantum, there's a lot of different opportunities. So usually starting with our website is the best place to go. The two links that I've pulled are from the US website, which is a little bit separate from the work that I do here in Vancouver, but it's where a lot of those questions are. And then if people, want to follow up or ask something specifically about an internship in Vancouver, the LinkedIn group that I posted earlier would work, but people can also reach out to me. I'm pretty approachable on LinkedIn, and if there's questions about a team or something that comes to mind, happy to answer them and make some connections where I can. It's the nice part of being in a group of this size in an event that I don't feel like it's going to get out of hand.
Absolutely. So I think in the interest of time, I think we will probably, do we have questions from students, Noe? Do you want to take those?
Yeah, so I think we can now move towards our audience from finalists if they have any questions and answers. So I will take it from here, right?
Yes.
So hello everyone, so I'm back again here. So I am Noin, and we will now moderate the question and answer sessions from our audience, from our finalists. Whoever would like to ask question, please drop it in the chat box. So there were at least 2 questions that I saw in the chat box that I would like to ask. I actually noted down here. Before actually I move to these questions, I have one question to the panelists, and the question is about which type of the initiatives or causes does your company support? For example, I have seen that for the symposium, when I reached out to all of you, you generously accepted this and you wanted to sponsor this event to support women in STEM. But in addition to that, which other causes and initiatives that your company is currently supporting and is providing some sort of like sponsorship programs or like in any way, like on the social media? So I will go for this question first with Steve. He raised his hand. So.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I'll repeat it first, but we support SCWIST, and I remember meeting with Fariba. Gosh, it was many years ago over lunch, I think, and we've always supported SCWIST's efforts. Diversity is so critical to any team. We've got enough crises in the past which indicate if you don't have diverse teams and diverse talent, you have unbalanced outcomes. So we support diversity, and a good example would be our commitment to AI and ethics. So a couple of years ago, as part of the Cascadia Innovation Corridor Initiative, Dr. Bethany Edmonds, who's our Director of Computer Science, she led a commitment towards a Cascadia Ethics in AI initiative. We have a number of companies and organizations that signed on because we need to make a best effort there. You can only influence those outcomes if you have diverse teams. So look, we have 10 people in Vancouver who staff the university campus. 7 of them are women, and 8 of them are non-Canadians. Now, I can tell you, it wasn't really purposeful. When you recruit against values and when you recruit against the direction you're going in, it happens automatically. But I'm really pleased that Northeastern is paying attention to that and supporting us. But what I would say is, I would go back to the ALIGN program, again, which draws non-computer scientists into a graduate degree in computer science. The students we have in that program are outstanding. They appear to be showing up exceptionally well with employers at co-ops and in interviews, simply because they've got this broader skill set, that they come equipped with this, this broader exposure to the world. And that's nothing critical to say of traditional computer scientists. But I really feel that ALIGN is the epitome of what you can do with a program to really influence outcomes, which then can make an organization go not just faster, but just be far more impactful to community. So that matters to us deeply. And again, I think that explains why I'm on the panel here today. I'm going to pop in the chat a little bit of an expose on ALIGN if you want more information, but thanks for that opportunity.
Thanks, Steve. Thanks a lot. And thanks for giving us that much information. So now I will go to Abby from Acuity Therapeutics for the same question.
Apologies, I'm struggling to get off of mute. So, I mean, as a small organization, we are big supporters of sort of community and education outreach, and also supporting the DEI agenda. So we sponsor a number of different types of pieces. SCWIST is obviously one of them. We're heavily involved in the Global mRNA Conference, and we're one of the primary sponsors of that. On the community side, we sponsor one of the local football clubs, which is ever so much fun. We all have little matching jerseys that go with that, and some of us have footballing talent and some of us just sit at the sidelines and cheer. We also support a number of different educational pieces, both in schools, and a number of our senior directors sit on the boards of a number of voluntary organizations. I'm heavily involved, for example, in the Boys and Girls Clubs of the South Coast of BC. So it's really a combination of kind of voluntary time, formal sponsorship, and really following that desire of the organization to invest in our community in lots of different ways, to be perfectly honest. One of the nice things about being in small organizations, and I joined Acuitas from a very, very large organization, is actually we can kind of do what we want to do a little bit more flexibly, and we kind of tend to go with the things that us as a team are passionate about.
Okay, thanks, Abby. And I think I will go to Erin now from adMare.
Sure. So as a few of you have mentioned, we certainly support job fairs, women in science, high school competitions, university competitions. We're quite present there. Usually our HR team is there, our people and culture team. What else do we do? You inspired me, Abby. Several of our directors and C-suite members are also sitting on boards, volunteering their time to upscale small companies that really have promising technologies. And finally, further to what Steve has said, we do support equity, diversity, and equality, inclusivity as well. So, of course, DEI or DIE or IDE, I've seen that in so many different places spelled differently. Yeah, we've taken up the government's challenge of the 50-30 challenge to achieve meaningful and substantive improvements in workplace diversity and inclusion. In fact, within a couple of weeks, we'll be launching an entire review of our curriculum to make sure that it's presented in a safe, inclusive, and welcoming way. We are using some suppliers, and we need to keep on top of that and make sure that all of our learners feel welcome and included in the material that we've purchased and that we're dispensing through our learning channels. So yeah, that's a little bit about us.
Thanks, Erin. And anyone else would like to add anything to these questions? Please let me know. Then we can. Yeah, Michelle, please.
So, like virtually everyone else, Sophos has a massive support for not just diversity, but also creating an inclusive workplace where that diversity, we break down any of the hesitancy that someone might have to speak up with an idea just because they feel like they're still on the outside, even if they are adding to the diversity of our colleagues. And a part of how we've been doing this, so it really started with the success of our Sophos Women in Tech initiative. And that was aimed more at getting the women in Sophos together so we could make connections with each other and support each other and just share our own knowledge, as well as, you know, plan how to do outreach, which was a little bit skewed by COVID closing everything down in person. But because it was so successful with bridging the gaps between women on totally separate teams and making them feel empowered to really speak up and contribute even more to the great work they were already doing, we've opened up additional initiatives based on everything from LGBTQIA+, people of color, disabilities, and I'm definitely forgetting several, but we have multiple, and these are all, they all have sponsorship backing of our C-suite senior management team, somebody on it, and it is chaired by somebody who works within the company and has volunteered to lead the efforts and bring it to senior management and get the resources we need to make our initiatives possible. But everybody on these panels, they have volunteered themselves to contribute. So we're implementing solutions that are brought up by people who say, I have this experience personally, here is what's needed to fix it, instead of some think tank report that says, hey, this is probably gonna fix this problem for this group of people. So it's really listening to the people who are already working with us and the people who come in like to volunteer, and just hear how can we make the collaboration more seamless while maintaining the diverse perspectives that bring so much richness and success. And one of our other initiatives, a little bit different, is our commitment to transparency and integrity. Again, with machine learning, since that's more appropriate, I think, for this audience, really, in terms of what we do, our Sophos AI team has released 4 open ML projects, I believe is the correct term. But when we make developments that are for the benefit of other industries or will allow our customers or potential customers to make better decisions in security and allow for better development by opening a concept up to somebody who might not get access to it otherwise, we're devoted to showing what we have, where it comes from, and not just kind of hiding things in a black box and people assume security works because it does.
Okay, thanks, Michelle. Anyone else would like to add? Okay, Victoria, yes, please.
Yeah, so as many have mentioned, we do support a lot of job fairs and events like these, and we work closely with a lot of university-based consulting organizations like University Consulting Group and Graduate Management Consulting Association. But I think one of the initiatives that are really close to my heart are our mental wellness and mental health initiatives. So we work with a lot of clients that are in the mental health space. And so kind of adapted that mentality ourselves internally, where we support people speaking up about any challenges that they do have. Plus externally, we recently had a fundraising campaign for the 𝐏𝐚𝐬𝐬𝐭𝐬 institution in Toronto, so Center for Addiction and Mental Health. And we had a 4K fitness challenge where we exercised on Zoom with our whole team and fundraised a lot of money for 𝐏𝐚𝐬𝐬𝐭𝐬 to support mental wellness. And it was a wonderful initiative, and we continue coming up with new initiatives that really support that mental wellness, both internally and externally.
Thanks, Victoria. And Neha, you raised your hand actually. Would you like to?
Yeah, I can step in. So, part of Molly's goal of improving patient outcomes is also advocating for the patient. And so we do a lot of work with supporting and amplifying the voices of patients and care providers. So we work with the American Society of Breast Cancer Surgeons, and we help promote, breast cancer screening, breast cancer health, various activities. There's tons of support from our management team. Our CEO, Fazla Sikar, actually, she does like a weekly LinkedIn video. It's called Breast Practices. I really like that. But we, invite either a patient, or it might be some sort of advocacy leader, or, a surgeon, and just, breast cancer is not a fun time. It's a very scary time for many people. And so there's a lot of support there to guide the patient through that process and, give them a voice. And so just, one initiative that I wanted to point out from Molly Surgical.
Thanks, Neha. Pamela, would you like to add anything? Or?
I mean, I think everybody's covered so many great things. One of the things that we're focused on this year is reskilling. So a little bit to Steve's point on the Align program of how we take professionals, working professionals, or people that have chosen a path and find ways to make them or to give them the skills that they may need to work in a technical capacity or in a tech company. Because over the last year, we've certainly learned that digital transformation is not something that anybody can hide from these days. And we want to make sure that everybody has the skills that they need to find the career that they want. So that's been probably the only additional thing outside of the programs that people have talked about that we do.
Thanks, Pamela. My mic was muted. I was trying to click, but it was still muted. So anyway, and thanks for this wonderful discussion too. It was really informative for all our candidates and finalists. We have actually one question from our audience, like students, and the question is about, is it possible for the recent graduates to apply for the internships at the companies in the symposium? If yes, how? For example, all these finalists or the students who have submitted applications, or even the top 15 finalists, if in future when they graduate and they submit any application for internship program to any of your company, will there be any possibilities for them because through the platform of the symposium or not? So I think if any of one of you would like to answer these questions, you can just unmute yourself, I would say.
So I guess I can start. We actually encourage recent graduates to apply for full-time roles for our entry-level positions. We don't really require you to have a lot of business background. It is something that is really homegrown at 6th Sense. So if you are a recent science graduate, we welcome you to apply for full-time entry-level roles. And I did post a link into the chat. However, as I mentioned earlier, if you are currently in the program and want to just kind of get a sense of who 6th Sense are, how we work, you can also reach out to our business operations manager to inquire about the part-time contract opportunities.
Thanks, Victoria. Anyone else would like to add anything? Erin?
Yeah, I checked our website just before I jumped on this panel. We have about 12 or 13 jobs right now that are being advertised. Many of them are pure science, research, oriented jobs, life science research, of course. But we have at least one which is more business oriented. So if you're a scientist that wants to, develop your business acumen in anticipation of getting an MBA one day, check it out, because there's something for everyone in life sciences. There are atypical careers, there are typical careers. It's quite a nice place to be.
Thanks, Erin. I think that's also for me, because I am also looking to move into the company side, industrial side. I have lots of experience as a nuclear medicine scientist in the laboratories. So I got a little bit background as an internship in TRIUMF Innovations for theragnostic radioisotopes and some courses with Harvard Business School. But I will definitely check out that program. I am currently enrolled for MBA program. It is going to start in July or August, but I will see what adMare is going to provide. And I think it's a very good opportunity for all of our audience who wants to move from academic side to industrial side in future. They should develop their business skill and they should get this opportunity. So anyone else would like to say anything about these things, like an internship program, so we can just move on to our next session, I think.
I highly recommend reaching out to myself or Amy Morella, who's also on this call, if you're interested in any internships or possible positions. Our HR and recruiting teams work really hard to find positions for people that we think are exceptionally qualified, even if we don't have a posting necessarily. This doesn't always work out, but just because you don't see a posting doesn't mean Sophos isn't interested in the innovation and new ideas you have to offer, as well as all of your highly refined skill sets.
Okay, and thanks, Michelle. And I can see that Steve and Erin and Abby and Michelle, all of you have posted links in the chat box. I will definitely save this chat and I will pick out all those links and I will send by email to all of our attendees today so that they can have it if they have missed it. And from here now, actually, our two finalists were left in the beginning for their introduction. One was Jaime when her dog was in the background, and the other was Anat. I would put spotlight on Jaime now. And I think, Jaime, you can just unmute yourself. Please turn on your camera. And we can, here she is, okay.
Here I am.
And you can introduce yourself now.
Great, thank you so much. So sorry for that interruption. My dog just really needed you to know that there was someone outside the house just then. So I'm Jaime. I'm at the University of Victoria. I'm a PhD candidate. I work for Dr. Catherine Elvira, and we use microfluidic devices to generate artificial cells to investigate the mechanism of drug transport across them.
Okay, thanks, Jaime. And next one was Anat. Anat, if you actually missed when I was saying your name, so if you would like, you can unmute yourself, turn on your camera so that I can put spotlight on you. If you are hearing me, where is she? It's, can you hear me, Anat? Okay, I think maybe she's just in the background and she's busy with something. Okay, so here I would like to say thanks to all our wonderful panelists, and also here I would like to give some closing remarks as a chair and the lead of symposium. I am actually very, very grateful to all these applicants. When I had this idea in SCWIST, it was for the first time for SCWIST to launch certain event as conference or mini conference or symposium type events. And I knew that I was a little bit hesitant, and I knew that if I want to make it successful, I really had to put lots of efforts inside. And because I didn't want to make it fail, so that people could say, oh, no, you had a bad idea. So, but now it's so successful. We got like almost 88 applications from across the Canada, from 38 universities and institutes. And we are having 15 finalists for almost like 5 to 10 different institutes and universities. And in addition, we have wonderful sponsors. Initially, I had Northeastern University as my first sponsor. I am so grateful to them, because when I approached them, they literally had faith in this event and they were ready to sponsor it. And I had that one sponsor at that time, and that's because I wanted to include some cash prizes for the winners. But later on, when I approached to other companies, it worked so well, and I am so grateful to all of you to support this type of the events, because most of the times NGOs don't organize these events or don't offer such types of prizes for students because they don't have so much budget. And it can only happen when we have good and potential sponsors like all of you. And I always believe that whenever we organize such events for students, especially like competition events, it's not at the end of the day to give them just the certificates, because students they have very limited stipend. It's always good to give them some cash prizes so that they can get some trainings online. They can buy the laptop or a software they want for their career development. It can really help them learn. And I'm from bottom of my heart, I'm really grateful to all of my sponsors and all panelists who found time from their busy schedules to be with us. And at the end, I would like to say thanks to all finalists here. If you have any question for Symposium, please let us know. And Ashima, can you please share the last slides, because I want to show them what they have to see. So it's a Eventbrite slide. Yeah. So all finalists, please follow us on the Eventbrite. I have already put your events live there. You have to, I also sent you the calendar invites. So you have the Zoom links and everything in your calendar. If you would like to make any change on your Eventbrite, like adding your bio, or you want to make any change or the spelling things, please let me know. We will do it. And so all are already live here. You can share these links on your social media with your colleagues, with your friends. And Ashima, if you can go please to the next slide. And our first symposium session event is going to happen on 9th of June. And actually it is going to be on 14th of June now. We have changed this date. It is now updating on the Eventbrite. So this was the date before because Gagan could not join us on 9th of June. So this is going to happen on 14th of June. And Gagan is from Wilfrid Laurier University from Canada, and she would be talking about another category of biotechnology and bioengineering. Please join us for that day. And can you please go to the next slide? And if you would like to keep yourself updated, please go to our website, the symposium page. We keep this web page updated almost every week. And here is the symposium catalog. Check out this catalog. This is like a summary catalog, which also has your abstract list, like abstract list of all 88 abstracts. And it also has our sponsors information, our judges information, our committee members information. It has everything in this. This catalog will also, we will keep it updated every month. And this page will be updated every week. So if you have, even then, if you have some questions, you can always approach me by writing me an email. For your presentations, please submit your presentations at least 2 or 3 days before to me so that our judges can go through it. And if you have any questions later on, please let me know. I'm more than happy to answer those questions. And let me see if anyone is asking anything. Yeah, so there is no other questions in the chat box. Ashima, you can stop sharing the screen now. Thanks, Ashima. Okay, so here I would like to say thanks to all of you who came today. And also, let me just give me 1 second, please, because I'm just handling these things to side by side. So yeah, okay. I would like to say thanks to all of you. Have a wonderful day, wonderful evening, wonderful afternoon. I mean, I am here, so it's the afternoon time here in Vancouver. And enjoy your day. And thanks again, and take care. So bye, everyone.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Thank you.